Hi everyone. So my name is Sandeep. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. I am going to discuss about Python programming language. In last video, we completed the discussion what is the object-oriented programming language and who was developed the Python programming language and what is the advantages of the Python programming language. Like that we discussed in last video. Today I am going to discuss about the features of Python. Features of Python. See, these are all the we are going to discuss today. First one is free and open source and easy to code, easy to write, high level language, interpreted, object oriented and procedure oriented, dynamically typed, extensible, platform independent, extensible library. So these are all the topics is included in the features of Python. And based on these features of Python, we can know what is the Python programming language and why these Python programming languages are going to use by the developers to develop the applications in the software industries. So in this one, the first topic and that is what the feature is, why we have to discuss these things. Means Python is a dynamic, high level, free, open source and interpreted programming language. It supports object-oriented as well as procedural-oriented programming. Anyway, just diagram. This is the diagrammatical representation of features of Python. So now we are going to discuss each and every feature of Python in detail. In this one, in that first one is free and open source. See, Python language is freely available at the official website. Yes, we can download the Python software without a license, without any license. So that website is www.python.org. So by using this link, we can download the Python software without any license. Generally, some softwares we had with a license, but this Python software we can download without any license and we can also use to develop the Python applications. See, and you can download it from the given download link below the download. So this is the link which we are going to use to get the software of the Python. And it is the next feature is it is the open source. What is this open source means? The code of the Python application is available to the public. It means based on the requirement, as a programmer, we can change the code of the Python applications. So that's why it is free and open source. Free and open source. So this is the link. Once again I am going to tell you. This is the link which we can download the Python software. Next, the feature of the Python is high level language. Python is a high level language. It means whenever we are going to read or write the Python programming language, we can it seems like an English statements. So that is called high level language. So it means as a programmer, we no need to concentrate on low level activities. What are the low level activities means? Memory management and security. So that's why this is the high level programming language. See, when we write programs in Python, we don't need to remember the system architecture nor we need to manage the memory. It means whenever we are writing this Python programming language or whenever we are learning, whenever we are developing these applications of Python, as a programmer, as a developer, no need to concentrate on low level activities like memory management and security. So that's why this is called high level language. So that is the next, that is the second feature of Python. Next, third feature is easy to code. Yes, it means Python is a high level programming language and Python is a very easy to learn the language as compared to other languages like C, JavaScript or Java. It means what is this the definition of this feature means whenever we compare other programming languages like Java, JavaScript or C, like the type of programming languages, this Python programming contain very less number of lines. That means as a programmer, if you want to write the instruction for the Python, the Python contains a very less number of lines when we compared with other programming languages like Java or C. So that's why it is easy to code. That is the third feature of the Python program. Next, that another feature is easy to read. See, learning Python is quite simple. As was already established, Python syntax is really straightforward. Yes, whenever we compare that other programming languages like Java and C, Python syntax is very simple, and also whenever we read the instructions of the Python, it feels like the English statements. For example, here see, print function is there. But in this print function, we are going to print Python is easy. How can we read it as Python is easy? See, but it is print and Python is easy. That's it. So whenever we compare other programming languages, the Python syntax is very easy and very simple. Next, in Java, we have the curly braces to represent a block of code. But in Python, we have the indentations. Indentations means space characters. By default, the space characters is 4. So through this, whenever we represent, for example, here def m1 function semicolon and then indentation. Now print Python is easy. Python is easy, right? Now this is called indentation, and we can say this is representation, what? The block of code. In Java, we can represent the block of code by using curly braces, but in Python, we are going to represent the block of code by using what? Indentations. Indentation means the space of the characters of the space. So that's why it is easy to read. Next, the feature of Python is platform independent. Yes, it is another amazing feature of Python. That means if we write a program in Python for an application, we can run on different platforms like Windows operating system, Linux operating system and Mac operating system. So that's why it is what? Platform independent. It means even, for example, now I developed an application by using Python in Windows operating system. Now the same Python code I am going to run on other operating system, that is Linux operating system. Whatever the results I got or whatever the output I got in the Windows operating system, the same output I will get in Linux operating system. So that is called platform independent. So finally, for this feature, what does this means? If we write a program in Python in one operating system, the same Python program we can run in different operating system, but we will get what? The same code. Next, dynamically typed. This is one of the important feature of Python. Very important feature of Pythons. See, Python is a dynamically typed language. Why it is a dynamically typed language? In Python, we are not going to declare the data types before the variable. For example, a equals to 10. Here I did not specify any data type before the variable, but in Java or C, you must and should specify a data type before the variable. For example, here int is the data type, and now for example this is in Java. Int a equals to 10. Here we assign the value is which value? Integer value to the variable a. Now for example, same variable, if I am going to assign float value like 10.3f, in Java or C, the compiler won't accept, we will get syntax errors. Why? Because of before the variable we assign it, we define the data types. You define the data type. That's why we cannot store other data type values in the variable a. That is in Java and or C programming languages. Come to this Python. We did not define any data type before the variable. Then here we have one dot will be come. What is that? What is the dot means? then the AE, then the Python, see here what is the doubt is, then what is the data type of the variable A? What is the data type of the variable A? Now see here A equals to 10. Whenever we assign the value to the variable A, based on the assigned value to the variable A, the Python interpreter will decide the data type at runtime. Based on the assigned value to the variable, the data types will be assigned or the data types will be defined to the variables at runtime in Python programming language. Now, for example, A equals to 10.3f. Now, at runtime, the variable A is defined as int data type, and at runtime, the variable A is defined as float data type, for example. Or A equals to, for example, this is what? Easy. Now, at runtime, the variable A is defined as string data type. So, that's why Python programming language is a dynamically typed language. But Java and C programming language is statically typed language. So, due to this one, the programmers makes the code very easier. So, anyway, but here another thing here is who is assigned the data type to the variables at a runtime means Python interpreter defines the data types of the variables at runtime based on the given values to the variable. That's why Python is dynamically typed language. This is one of the another feature. Next, extensible and embeddable. Here Python is an embeddable language. That means we can write the Python code in another languages. So, embeddable means we can write the Python programming language in Java programming language. That's why that is called, we can say JPython. So, it is known as JPython, like that one. Like that one, we have different flavors of Python. And also, Python is also extensible. It means we can extend our Python code in various languages like C++, Java and so on. Java, like that one. Due to this one, the performance of the application will be improved. Due to this one, the performance of the application, Python application will be improved. So, this is also one of the important feature. Embeddable means we can write the Python program in another programming languages. Extensible means we can use the other programming languages in Python. That is the extensible and embeddable feature of the Python. Next here is object-oriented and procedure-oriented. What is this feature? The programming language is object-oriented. If it focus design around data and objects. Yes, in last video we discussed about what is the differences between object-oriented and procedure-oriented. Based on this Python programming, the Python programming, right? So, based on this, the Python programming considered as object-oriented and procedure-oriented. Here, why Python both programming languages means because of the Guido van Rossum who has developed the Python. He taken the features from the object-oriented program. He taken the features of object-oriented and also procedure-oriented. So, that's why for Python programming, the advantage of Python programming language is both. We have, that is security and reusability. Because of Python is object-oriented and procedure-oriented, the advantage is the Python programming language is security and reusability. This is the feature of object-oriented and procedure-oriented. Next, interpreter. Generally, Java and then C are compilers, but Python is interpreter. When a programming language is interpreted, it means that source code is executed line by line and not all at once. Here, What is this interpreted feature of what is this interpreted feature in Python programming language means? As a programmer, no need to compile the program explicitly in Python programming language. Generally in Java or C programming languages, as a developers, we have to do explicit compilation to the programming. But in Python, as a programmer, or the programmers need not to compile the Python programs explicitly because it is processed at runtime by the interpreter. It means interpreter will take the responsibility of the bytecode. Once the Python program successfully did not get any errors, it means successfully interpreted done, then Python virtual machine takes the responsibility to run the code, or Python virtual machine takes the responsibility to execute the code. But here main the thing is Python is an interpreter. Python is an interpreter, not a compiler. Because of it means as a programmer, no need to compile the Python programs explicitly because it is processed at runtime by the interpreter. So that is the one of the important feature. After interpretation is done, then if there is no errors in that application, then who is taking the responsibility to execute the code means Python virtual machine is taking the responsibility to execute the code. Next, extensive library. Python has rich inbuilt library. Python has a rich inbuilt library. It means it contains more number of libraries. It means more number of modules. More number of modules. For example, here in this diagram, in this figure, we have top 10 Python libraries. One is Python, which is useful for data analysis, and next one is NumPy, which is useful for arrays concepts, and Matplot library, which is used for graph representations, that is data visualizations, and TensorFlow is for machine learning, and SciPy is also scientific calculations, scientific and engineering calculations, and SQL model is for interacting with SQL databases. Like that one, we have lot of libraries in Python programming language. That's why it is what extensive library. Extensive library. If you want to see how many number of libraries in Python means, there is one link, that is python_anywhere.com/batteries_included. So this is the link. Through this link we can find out the Python libraries. That's why. So extensive library is one of the features. Next, here finally the summary of this presentation is Python is very easy to learn for the beginners because of in whatever we discussed in that above features, very easy. That is open source and freeware. It means we can download the Python software without any license, and we can write the program instructions of the instructions of the Python program very easily because of the syntaxes is very simple, and also we can read, and mainly easy to learn is because of it contains very less number of lines. That's why it is very easy to learn for the beginners. And most important, as we discussed just now, dynamically data types is allocated at runtime. Who is dynamically allocated the data types to the variables at runtime means Python interpreter. That's also we discussed. And main thing here is Python both object oriented and procedure oriented. Why? Because of the guided algorithm takes the features of Java, that is object oriented features, and also functional oriented features. That's why Python contains two advantages, that is security and reusability. So this is the summary of this presentation. In next video, we are going to discuss about the keywords and identifiers and how we are going to execute the Python programs, how to download that softwares. These are all the things we are going to discuss in next video, right? So thank you.